And my take on the industry, people taking advantage because they're famous, that's happening constantly, non-stop. That's just how it is. Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. I'm just done with another Project X meeting, on my way to the studio to just get the day started. That meeting didn't go that well, but yeah, I think food will make the day a little bit better for now.
Through the night, through the dark, I was holding your hand. Through it all, I gave you all.
Finally in the studio, finally something to eat, because that Project X meeting, it went quite long. And the project isn't dead or anything, it's still going on. The news aren't good, but it's not cancelled. It just might be a tiny bit harder than I imagined and might take a little longer than I was hoping for. It looked better in the store. It's like takeaway and you can put as much as you want to in this box, the vegetarian stuff. I of course filled it up to the max. And since already half of the day is gone and I'm not in the best mood and I don't feel like making music, just another quick Q&A. First question, do I need to EQ all the elements of my track? Yeah, probably yes. Sometimes there are elements in there that you might not have to EQ, but low cutting everything is definitely something good. And also considering to EQ every of your elements, like adding a tiny bit of top end can help, getting rid of resonating frequencies, boosting frequencies that sound nice, getting rid of the ones that do not sound nice. So consider at least EQing every element. Is it better to put the reverb directly on a channel or through the bus? So sound-wise, there shouldn't be a difference if your reverb also has a mix knob. If it doesn't have one, or if you set it to 100%, put it on a bus. I always put it on a bus. It's handy. You can reuse the reverb on multiple elements, and this way also save some CPU and also make the tracks sound more glued together, because if you put elements into the same space, they sound like they're coming from the same room. The next one is quite interesting. What were your plans, your job plans, before you decided to become a musician, a DJ producer? I was actually studying international business management with consulting as like the main focus. Wasn't really good at it, never went to university, already made my music. So actually since I started DJing with like 13, 14, 15, I wanted to do it as a full-time job. So I don't know, maybe I was just stupid, not really thinking about something else and just focus on that. But now it luckily worked out, so good. Does the artist name matter in the music industry? How to choose one? Does it matter? Yes, to some extent. It should be easy to Google it. There shouldn't be a whole lot of other options for people to find. But at the end, just go with something you're proud of. If someone asks you what your DJ name is, so that you can say it out loud without feeling weird. And over time, you will just get used to it. Even if you choose something weird, there are so many weird DJ names and people still have success. So the name doesn't matter that much. Next up, how much time do you spend vlogging? How much time does it take for you to edit a complete vlog video of one day? Is the effort worth it? Wow, that's something I don't like to think about, if it is worth it. I would say not now, not at the moment. It might be in the future, because I like to invest and think about in 5 years or so. So if this channel grows, maybe it will be worth it, but at the moment I don't really make any money with it. Yes, the ads make some money, but it's barely enough to pay for the camera that I constantly drop, and batteries and the microphone and everything. On top my time, I would say like editing a vlog can be between like 2 hours and 6 hours. It really depends on what I film. A Q&A is easy to edit. A day at the dance fair or an interview like with Laidback Luke, it just takes longer because you have to make sure that it's all right. And then there's like the color grading, because usually it looks totally flat. Plus the audio editing, because usually it just doesn't sound like that. Then the uploading, naming, the thumbnail, all these kind of things. Yeah, it just adds up. It's a lot of time actually, but I still love doing it. It's more a hobby still. It's more for fun. I love the interaction. I love the motivation that I get from sharing what I do. And I also love like teaching you stuff and showing you how it really is, because I was really interested in that maybe 10 years ago and no one showed me, no one explained it to me. And I think this way you can just get to the same spot in a shorter amount of time. And if it's worth it, I think one day. At the moment, not. In a year, probably also not. I could just do ghost productions instead of doing the vlog and make way more money. So in terms of money, it's not worth it. But in terms of like building my career, yes, I think it's worth it. What is your biggest fear in music production or while you're making a track? Biggest fear? I don't know. You shouldn't have a fear making a track. I mean, it's on the computer, you can change it anytime. Having fear performing live, that's something different. But making a track, a fear, I don't know, maybe like a tiny bit of, no, it's not really fear. Like now that more and more people listen to my music and I get more and more feedback for my tracks, I have to be a little bit more careful on what songs I release, which direction, not like disappointing the people that like my old stuff, but also trying to make something new. So getting that balance maybe, but I wouldn't call it fear. It's more like the challenge of making a new song. With news like what came about That's Sick, and you being in the industry for a while now, are you surprised there are people taking advantage of being famous in the producer DJ world? I read about this case. If you don't know, I think he's a DJ making some music that I don't really like. He was accused of abusing girls and getting them really drunk, fans of him. And let me just say, this is something that is really, really disgusting if you take advantage of people that look up to you as a person that has fans, to smash your fans while they're drunk just because you're a superstar. That's not the right thing to do. And if he really did these things they accuse him, then I hope he will get punished. There were some people posting stuff on Twitter. I will link it down below if you're interested to check it out. I don't really know what to think about it. I don't know who's telling the truth. Usually it lies somewhere in the middle, but now that it's public, at least he won't be able to do these kind of things again, because everyone's now watching him. And my take on the industry, people taking advantage because they're famous, that's happening constantly, non-stop. That's just how it is. I mean, this case is like a criminal kind of case, but there are plenty of cases where people produce a track and they approach a bigger DJ, hey, what do you think of it? And that bigger DJ thinks like, huh, cool track, why not put my name on it and release it? That's happening a lot. That's also how I got into ghost producing. There are a lot of feature and collaboration tracks going on at the moment. For example, there's like the Brooks track with David Guetta and I think Martin Garrix. So usually the person that is the last is the one that made the song and the other ones just smashed their name on it. I don't know if it's the case with that song, but in a lot of cases that's how it's happening. You might also remember the Rihanna song with Mickey Echo, Stay, like a ballad. He wrote it, he made the entire song, sent it to her or his management to her management. They said, nice song, let's put her on the record as like the main artist. He gets a small feature because he was an unknown artist. This way she benefits, she gets a nice track. He benefits because he gets the exposure. At the end, he could build up his career of doing this kind of deal. I don't like these kind of things, but they're happening all the time, constantly. I mean, it's an obvious kind of secret of the scene. Whoever has more power pays less and just does whatever he wants. And sometimes when you're a smaller artist, you just have to play along, work your way up, and then be in that position they used to be in, and then basically do the same or just be a nice person and not do the same. How to prevent having the phase issue when trying to widening sounds. So yes, when you make a sound wide, if you delay one channel to make it appear wide, you sometimes go into anti-phase. This means if you switch back to mono, the sound disappears because it's canceling out. There is no real way in avoiding it. I would just make the stuff wide and check it on the scope and see if it goes into anti-phase. Sometimes you can even put a sound into anti-phase. You would just then have to live with, if someone listens to it in mono, that it will be a lot dimmer than you actually intended it to be. So it's always a compromise. There is no right or wrong, no solution. You have to know your tools and then go for what is best for your song. So if you have a guitar, you want it really wide to have room for the vocals, you can put it a tiny bit in anti-phase, because if people listen to it on their phone, switch to mono, it should be still audible if you don't exaggerate it. So yeah, it's always that fine line in between that you need to find to actually make it work. Yeah, I think that's it with the questions for today. If you want to ask me anything, just follow me on Instagram. The link is down below in the description. And I will do the next Q&A probably in a week. So hope you enjoyed this one. If you have any further questions, just leave a comment down below. I will try to answer them. And we will see us tomorrow again. That's it. Sign out.